So my name is Victor Machese. I'm a full-time police officer. I'm a hostage negotiator. I'm a member of critical incident stress management team that responds to critical incidents that police officers and first responders are involved in. I teach mental health to law enforcement and first responders and stress management, with my major focus is on suicide prevention and awareness. So early on in my career, I was given the opportunity to go to hostage negotiation school, which gave me the feeling that I could speak to anybody. Trained to talk, trained to de-escalate, trained to help. And shortly after coming out of our training, our ex-police chief was having some difficulties internally through the job, with family, had a struggle, and I spoke to him. Was speaking to him, I thought he was strong enough to take the words that I gave him. He was the cop's cop. He was always the one that you thought could handle anything. I saw him break, and I didn't do anything. So I went on my way, and he went home, and the next day we got the phone call that no one could get a hold of him at the house. I was the one who found him in the kitchen. Fortunately, that day he didn't die. He went in the hospital, and he was released, and he didn't talk to anybody. He just went home and ended his life without giving anyone else an opportunity. Mike's passing made me feel like I let somebody down, not just a friend, a colleague, but a family member. Someone who I looked up to that I never would have thought would have been in the place that he was in, and made me feel vulnerable myself, because I thought of him as the strongest of the strong, and he went down a path, and I feel like I should have followed behind to make sure he didn't get to the road that he ended up getting to. Statistically, they say that like an average person suffers like 1 to 3 critical incidents in their life. Police officers face like an upwards of 800. When I became a police officer, hell, I thought of, car chases and, lights and sirens and driving fast. I never thought I would see as many dead people that I had to see. And being with family who just lost somebody, and it's hard not to put yourself in that emotional place when we're supposed to be the strong ones and hold there and, supposed to give a firm handshake and tell them we're there for them. But being there, it's hard not to feel what they feel. I've lost count of how many people I've held their hands when they passed away. I was the last person they saw before they perished. There's been a lot of good, but the good doesn't keep you up at night. It's the hard. I've been a police officer. I'm going into my 15th year, and I actually have a tattoo on my leg with the initials of my friends, my brothers, that I've lost to suicide, and that's 5. So I'm not even 1 every 3 years. This past year, I lost 2. I lost a very, very good friend of mine that I used to talk to all the time, and we all knew his struggles. We all knew his strengths. We all knew his weaknesses, and when the phone rang, and I saw the first initial of his name, I somehow knew. He identified himself as Superman. Actually, I have his brother, his twin brother, gave me a keychain with the Superman emblem and a vial of Matt's ashes. And I'm going to take that with me everywhere. And that's why it was important for me to take the initials of my friends, my fallen brothers, to suicide and permanently carry them with me on my body, because they pushed me forward. I don't want one of my friends, my families, my brothers, my sisters getting the phone calls that I've gotten. more than willing to talk to anybody. I sleep with the phone on my pillow, just in hopes that someone will call me in that time of need, which has happened. And sometimes I feel like I do so much, and I put myself out there so much that I'm focusing on people that I don't even know. And here, I've lost 5 people that were so close to me, and during their struggles, they didn't call. And it honestly is, it's heartbreaking, and it keeps you up at night thinking, I wasn't there for them. I wish it was. Police officers die by felonious acts and in the line of duty less than by dying by suicide. So essentially, we're losing brothers and sisters at their own hands than that of hands of others. In the academy, when I went to the academy, I don't remember any mental health, stress management class, crisis management, anything that would give police officers any sort of training for our own mental health. We learned, there was a mental health class, but it was specifically related into identifying and dealing with people who suffer from mental health and stress-related issues and dealing with crisis in a community, but not our own. Shortly after I lost my friend who had died by suicide, I was given an opportunity to teach a class to first responders that dealt primarily with mental health and mental health awareness and self-awareness, stress management. And I took that opportunity, and I took that opportunity because of my friend. I think I was given the courage to teach and learn to teach this class solely for him, as I felt like I owed it to him. I owe a lot to him. I owe a lot to all the people I've lost. When I came aboard with MCES in Montgomery County, we brought NAMI in, and NAMI had been a staple in our own voices. And when a police officer sits down in a group, and we do small groups, and they listen to people that look just like you or me, telling them their stories and telling them of how sometimes they've been weak and how they've overcome them, it helps the police officer, especially me, take a step back and say, well, I could be them. And I just think we need more training. We need more understanding where we're not invincible. We're the same as everybody else. I take my uniform off and my badge and my gun, and I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a silly neighbor. I'm the one that's up that struggles at night sometimes. But with the support that I've received from NAMI, especially just interacting with, the members of In Our Own Voices, I've learned so much more about myself, to be able to put not myself in their voice, but put myself in their shoes.
We have to help the helpers. Our first responders see repeated trauma on a daily basis, and being able to provide a safe place that they can be vulnerable so that they can go home safe to their families is so, so important. So being able to support our first responders in a way that allows them to connect with people through their trauma can help them keep going and have the energy and the spirit to keep keeping us safe.
My main reason why I got into teaching and helping promote officer wellness, especially mental wellness, was because I'm tired of getting the phone call. I can't lose any more friends. I don't want a police officer or a first responder, a firefighter, or EMS to feel that they're alone. Because when we're working, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the nuisance call. It could be someone's huge crisis, but we always show up, right? We're always there to answer the call. We're always there to help when needed. And sometimes it's difficult for us as first responders to not be able to help ourselves. One of my major focuses is letting my fellow brothers and sisters know that there actually are resources out there, like NAMI Frontline Wellness. There's a stigma when a police officer openly admits that they're either depressed, suicidal, or suffering from any mental illness. We don't want to go and talk to our normal doctors, talk to our command staff, because we're afraid of losing our job. NAMI Frontline Wellness is a resource that is anonymous and nationwide that any police officer can call to point you into the direction of resources nearby to you and geared to you to get you the help that you need, as well as personal stories from other first responders, frontline workers who may have gone through something similar to you that you can watch and realize that you're not alone.